All right. See if I can get the chat. All right. I'm gonna run some Dark Souls in a little bit, but I wanted to follow up here with some things. What we were working on, I believe, is making this guy update, and I don't really know if there's a good way to do this. And did we add, what did we add? We added this. These are like these aren't bad. These aren't bad methods to add, but they're also not great. Let's see, we can rotate Y. See, that's what's interesting to me is that rotating the Y. Let's actually see if we can follow this down. So rotate Y is going to set that rotation dirty. We'll say look at here. I just want to see the order in which this happens. We can probably just do it. We could debug, but I'd rather see it like this. Update rotation. Oh, well, that's interesting. So we're never getting... Well, that explains a lot. I think this just basically... I think when we get... Yeah, so this makes the most sense to me. Basically what we're doing is this. This is where we're screwing up. Or this is where I'm screwing up. Excuse me. Is that when we get our transform, we really need to do this. We need to update. See, var is rotation. Update. Because we update our rotation, and then based on whether or not we actually update our rotation, we need to update our transform as well. And believe it or not, that thing is actually rotating. Just very, very slow. So let's do like, let's do 1 degree an update. This is actually going to be really fast, I think, but we'll do rocks math, and then 2 radians. Yeah, there we go. Look at there. Neat. Okay. So I actually think we are back to where we were. Now, this is a little bit tricky because some documentation with a name and position. Creates a object with Um, my rocks object. And let's just make this into a little util. Let's call it we'll call it instance namer. Utility class which generates default names based on a prefix and incrementing identifier. I'm gonna seal it because why not? And I think we'll have a and then we can have this little method. This will be public. And we'll just call it next name. I also forgot that with this version of C# you can do some other cooler things like this. So you can do like, I can do return and use this $, and then I can do Oops, I gotta set this. Prefix equals prefix. I can do this. Prefix dash. And then I think I can even do this. Interlocked. I might have to make sure that I get the all right, so we can return that, and then we can actually just write inline code there. I think. Yeah, that's really neat. So we can just write inline code here, and the compiler is going to generate. What's up, man? How's it going? I really like some of the features in C# 6. I hardly ever get to use new language features, but that's really cool that you can just inline it like that. And I think we can make this static. Yeah, man, I feel you, dude. The only I normally do this session in the morning, and I had to cut it short, a little bit short this morning, and we ran it like I didn't have enough time to do what I was gonna do, so here I am after like 9.5 hours of working, doing this exact same thing. I'm back to doing more of it. And we'll just call this guy namer. And we'll go ahead and initialize it too. Games. I work at NCSoft. Sorry about that. Waiting on my kids are still rolling around. I'm not a big fan of these region separators, to be honest. I started out using them and I don't like them. Transform, rotation matrix. I absolutely hate this. So we're gonna do this as I make games. I work at at NCSoft. That's funny. I've done that before too, man. Man, you know, I hate having both these flags. We can use like anyway, you got back here quick for having flipped it. Sounds about right. You know, I find crazy that why not a code file? Really? Is that what we're calling these templates nowadays? I should probably just use the inner enum instead of creating a new one. we'll just call this private class or private enum. Yes. I am a principal software developer. That I work mainly on the I've had jobs of all types, but I'm currently kind of focused on back end development now. I do a lot of like real-time socket programming, socket multiplayer, socket based multiplayer games. But I spent like the last 5 years, the job before this, in C++, and I'm so grateful to be back in managed languages again. Well, I mean, I've worked pretty hard. I was like, it's all I've done for like the last 10 or 15 years. So it's been a lot of work, for sure. I wish I had some of the natural ability that a lot of guys have, but for me, it's sitting down and practicing a lot over and over. I think what I want, let's see, we'll just say, I used to have a really good enumeration class for CSharp. I think I used to. Oh man, hey, I promise I've done it for a long time. I could probably write something from the ground up, but I'll be honest, man. Especially if you're doing Java and CSharp, it's both of those. I yield. I yield to the pros, man. The guys who've just been doing it for decades and decades. I like .NET for C#, and I like Netty for Java stuff in terms of like raw socket. But Netty does everything, HTTP, all that stuff. I mean, it's basically a full package, and their concurrency model is just stupid how fast it is. So when there's amazing open source libraries around for that sort of stuff, I have no problem admitting that those guys, those libraries do it way better than I could write it. So mainly for me, it just becomes real-time systems. Like how do you incorporate basic like real-time like prediction and basically latency compensation and stuff like that, and getting it basically getting it to a position where you can scale multiplayer games. It's always a challenge. There's always some design that's hard to do and are hard to complete, and I think we can make this a byte. And I think we can also make this none. Make a rotation 0x1. Translation. Right? We can do that. Let me bust out my handy calculator here, man. Holy shit. That is the biggest fucking calculator I've ever seen. Oh my god, they were not being shy at all about this calculator. What was I gonna do? I've just got completely sidetracked about how gigantic this fucking calculator was. So I can probably 1 and 2 Maybe I can't. I forgot how to combine flags like this. Well, what hex is 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, and then we can AND these, right? Why is that not happening? Is it, do I need to do 0, 1, and 0, 2? I think maybe. I don't know. It's a byte. A byte is just a single one of these guys, right? Yeah, it is. No, it's 2 of them. It's 2 of them. So it's really we're going to be doing like 01 and 02. This is going to give me the same thing. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a lot of like it's a lot of reading, a lot of work. It's a lot of screwing up, man. I think I used to know how to do this. Like doing this in C++ is easy. I need to look up num flags in C# to make sure that my syntax isn't completely jacked up here. There we go. You have to. I thought I remembered something like this. The flags. Can you? Is my extension of byte allowed? Alas, it is. Okay. And this actually, I like the way that they did that. Well, let me bust out that calculator again because that thing was beast mode. 1 left shift 2. Let's see, like that's not even right. There we go, byte. That's what I wanted, calculator, you sack of shit. I've been trying to fucking do this and you've been giving me shit. And 2. I mean, really, in what world are we? Thank you. All right. We can just set it like this because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that it will actually register as a byte. I think we can do that, and I think we may need to use attributes. I mean, that seems fine. I don't know what this attribute actually does, so let's see if we can. I remembered this, and then when I just looked it up, it was there. Flags attribute. What does this do? Indicates that an enumeration can be treated as a bit field. That is a set of flags. Okay. But what does that actually do there, Broham? Dirty flag for rotation and translation. And then we can do the name of the instance. Well, all of this stuff is fine. Let's see, namer, what is we named it namer, I think. Namer, next name. Yeah, good. Okay, next name. And I believe we can probably just create some generic. Well, was it really that bad? Privates. I'm kind of kicking myself now because I feel like there weren't enough dirty flags to actually constitute creating an enumeration there. I think at the time, like a few minutes ago, I was thinking that there might be more, but I don't think so. And so I've ended up basically this is going to be kind of a waste of time, but that's okay. We're getting it cleaned up. So let's see, dirty. What do? You and this guy, and dirty flag rotation, and then I think you compare it to dirty flag dot rotation. I think this is how you do flags. And then here we'll do, I'm going to make these private, since we don't need anything on the outside knowing about them. And we'll do dirty, dirty and dirty flag translation. A lot of times this is clean, but Booleans can be much more clear. That's why I'm kind of like, that might have been a little too much. Return is true if the translation for the object is dirty. And I kind of feel like, let's see, what is 1? 0, 0, 0, 1. And 2 is 0, 0, 1, 0. So both would be 0, 0, 1, 1. And what's that, 3? I'm going to cheat. Because I'm going to cheat. I think I'm cheating here. Really, the next bit field would be 4. But 3 represents rotation and translation, so I'm just going to do it like that. That actually is pretty nice. Because the first thing we actually need to do here is... There's no reason why I have to do this here. I can initialize it easily up here, and I can also initialize this too as well to the identity. I personally think ordering is more clear if you do position, rotation, and then transform. The current transform matrix, and I'll put translation and rotation for the object. Okay. These are going to be our forward and up vectors. So I'm going to create up vector based on the rotation. And okay, this right, translation dirty, rotation dirty. Since these are helpers, I'm going to put these, well, I can put them right up here. I'm going to set our 30. I forgot how you remove one. What is it? It's I don't remember. But I'm not cheating. I've decided against that too. I'm just living on the edge over here. We're just gonna say dirty flag dot rotation or dirty flag. This basically sets both of them to dirty. This is gonna be a rotation. X rotation equals X. And dirty is dirty or dirty flag rotation. Yeah, you can just do a or equal. And this is going to be a Y rotation. And dirty flag there. And Z rotation equals Z. So here, real easy stuff. Just setting and then flagging. These are going to be instances of translation. So I can change this up. Basically, this is just checking to see how much we're moving. If so, flag dirty. Flag translation dirty. Easy. Dirty flag here. We're just gonna set it directly to none, since we're actually resetting right here. How do you? What's up, Cole? How's it going, man? So this one we're just gonna check. We'll do is rotation dirty. Bam. Oh man, I'm full of it. I think that this is baloney. That's good, man. We're not going to do that then. We're going to do this. Not that. Times rux math dot Euler 0.0f 0.0f and z rotation. Bam. Rotation matrix. We're gonna let's see. Wait, we're resetting. So when we reset, we and equals and we negate. Rotation. In this case, I don't believe, I mean, at this point, I think this stuff has to be resolved, so we can just say dirty equals dirty flag, none. All right. So we clean this up a little bit. We got basically an instance namer. We have some instance variables. We have all our, everything's commented and nice and clean, and we are free to move about the cabin. No! Stack Overflow. Update. Get update transform force. Oh, shit balls. Well, I thought that that's what you did. Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to clean up. What? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Hold on. I think I'm crazy, man. Because let's talk about this. So let's do this. So let's create a flags private class, and let's just call it, we'll do the same thing. Dirty flags. Dirty flag. Actually, we want it to be a num. And we want to extend byte. And we're going to do none equals 0. We'll do first equals 1. Second equals 2. This should be super easy. What's up, Afterlife? How's it going, man? All right. So let's check this out. So let's do a dirty flag. Flag equals dirty flag none. Flag, we're gonna or equals, and let's do dirty flag dot first, and we'll console this bitch. Right line. And we'll do first, or we'll do after first. I wonder if you can do bit converter dot get bytes. Nice. We'll do flag. Maybe we can. Oh, I am an idiot. And then we'll do this. We'll do flag or equals dirty flag. Second. Up. We'll do after second. It's you wouldn't know what you wouldn't be able to do it in Unity. It's a new C# feature, but it basically lets you do. This is a great example. It basically lets you use open brackets. It's not a stupid question. This is a very new feature. So I can say, all right. So this is what we can do. So I can say var. This is what I'll do. String name equals Matt. And then I'll do uint age equals 34. Wait, how old am I? I'm not 34. I'm 33. Fuckers. I'm fucking 33. Don't be calling me 34. So the hello world version of this is that I could do hello with a $sign. Hello, my name is name, and I am age years old. So it's basically, if you were aware of the original way, basically you can also, the way you do it in Unity would be like string.format, and then you would give it a format string of hello, my name is 0, and I am 1 years old. And then you would pass it, the 0 index would be name, and the first index would be age, and it would substitute the name in for the 0 index and age for the first index. But here's the problem with this, is that you would do something like this, like it would be careless, but you would come in and be like, oh, I don't want that anymore, and you would do that, and then you would delete name like that. And let's just say I hard-coded that. This is wrong because the 1 is left in there, and this is the 0 index, and it actually causes problems. So, like, that was the big complaint, basically, that, hey, look, this is actually really neat. Basically, it's a shorthand version, but it also lets you write stuff in there. Like, if you look at this string, I wrote you can write statements in there. I mean, I guess just like string format. I guess you could say it like that. But I just think it's cool because you can inline code directly in it, in the string. He called you 1. So I'm testing this right now because I switched out our little Boolean because all the flags getting set to true and false were starting to make me a little irritated. And flags let us keep all our dirty bits kind of in one variable. And this is basic CS 101 stuff, and I am absolutely failing it miserably. But essentially, this is what you do. Computers are zeros and ones. Everyone has heard that, no matter if you're a programmer or not. A byte is basically 8 zeros or 1. So, like, here's a byte. 2. We'll represent it in 4s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 0 representation as a byte. 1 as a byte is this. 1. 2 as a byte is this. 1, 0. 3, if you can guess, is 1, 1. All right? So there are these neat things called bit flags, and the way that you can do this is it's a neat way to like compress or not compress. It's a neat way to combine meaning into one value. So if you look at this, I can combine all three of these things. Like if you just like do like basic carry at addition, the result here is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, which is actually 3. And hey, guess what? If you add those two things too, I'm just kidding. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but there is that is basically how operations work, and carry adders and stuff like that do all this crazy stuff. So what you do is you say, well, we'll just make this mean one thing, and we'll make this mean another thing, and we'll just store it all in the same small, simple byte. And it just saves you a little bit of space. Some people might get irritated with you. I don't, because I think it looks nice too, and I think it's very clear, especially when you have very good enum support, like C# has. Java does not, but C# has great enum support. So does C++, C also. Actually, does C have? Yes, C has enum support. No. C doesn't. Yes, they do. They just work a little bit differently. Yes, okay. Enums are definitely a type in C. Okay. I thought so. And then I didn't think so. So basically what we want to, oh man, I always forget. Read line. This little line right here will keep the command prompt from closing here. So look at that. So what I like about this is this, when you use this little flags attribute at top, it makes this stuff print out super clear. And so now if I want to get rid of one of these, I do an and I let's just take away the first one. Oops, I forgot to add a print. Yeah, I think Unity uses bit flags everywhere. I mean, it's not, there's pros and cons, right? I mean, because a Boolean, so when we say a bool or a Boolean, Mr. Smexy Waffle, like all this is true or false. Essentially, you know, we'll just say value equals true. And then you can like do tests on it. If value, which just basically means if true, then print right line. Wow. And you get a wow. Like, okay, so that worked. Second, that removed the first thing. So I thought that I had this right. Actually, after first. And then also we can do flag and equals dirty flag dot second. And then this should be nothing. None. So we start out with none. We add first. We add second. So then we have first and second. Then we remove first. Then we just have second left. Then we remove second. Now we have none left. That's how that works. I was pretty sure that that's how that worked. That's what I thought that I just changed in Rocks object. But apparently something has turned its back on me. So here we're resetting, which is fine. Here we're removing the rotation bit. Here we need to I need you. I gotta make sure that you have that tilde in there. Maybe I should be removing, instead of setting, I should be doing like this. You can do this as well. This will remove both flags. Although setting to none should be fine. This should absolutely be fine because we're ORing it. I don't know what the problem is. Wait, is it? Let's add this back. Is my issue the checks? Let's do that. So, okay. So let's just do this. Let's remove all this. We know this works. And then we'll pick a spot. Something in my substitution did not go right. So let's remove first, and then let's add some kind of like redundant checks here. So let's say is first, and this should be false. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say dirty or flag and dirty flag at first equals dirty flag at first. Because when you and it should be that thing, I think. Right? Should. Absolutely has to be. Is second, we can do flag and dirty flag dot second equals dirty flag dot second. And so what we would expect here is console dot write line. We would expect this to be is first, is second, is second. So we'd expect this to be true or false true. So what the fuck is going on? Just going to comment this out in case I need it again. Because clearly something is not working as expected, and I'm getting it like this. I'm getting a Stack Overflow. So what's calling it? What's originating this thing? Transform. Oh, it's my camera again. This just needs to be okay. That's what this is the problem. Is this needs to be just transform. This is what I don't get this. If update transform returns a true, then the dirty flag should be dead. How is this creating update rotation? Is rotation dirty? This should be a not. That is why. Son of a beach. That's why. Hey, yo. All right. So we got camera movement. At least forward, backward, up, down, right, left, back, forward. So I mean, in general, and we got this guy rotating, and you can see I've added a mouse handler. So when I click my mouse, you can actually see it doing stuff. That dastardly camera. Yeah, so here I screwed up, and basically it was basically an exclamation point. But I was doing if it's dirty, we're returning false there, but we wanna continue on a dirty, and we want to return if it's not. We don't want to do more work than necessary. Okay, so here's kind of what I've done. I cleaned this up. I added this thing called an instance namer, which is basically I just abstracted out something that can generically name our little guy. I added comments and initialization. I have these dirty flags now to represent this instead of two bulls. The major change that I made that seemed to be causing a lot of problems was, see if I can find it. Oh, the transform. Okay, so this is a big change, and it matters, but this is kind of what I hadn't gotten to yet, is when we ask for this transform, we need to first look at our rotation, and we call update rotation. Well, this thing will return true if we actually update this. So we need to ask, we need to basically try to update the rotation, and if we do, then we can update our transform, because the transform uses the forward and up vector, which are created by the rotation. So it's like you rotate first, and then the transform is going to get the full transform with the translation and the rotation on it, only if you have a rotation update. If you don't have a rotation update, then, and you're not, this basically does one thing. This will force a transform update if this is true. If it's false, then this will still look to see if translation is dirty. And if it is, then it'll update it anyway. Wait, what did you say? Well, do you have a book of computer science for dummies? I have tons of them. Boolean, integer, and long. Nice, dude. Well, long that's an odd one. I guess basic primitive types. I guess. So a float, if you see float, it is basically a decimal that is represented by 32 bits or 4 bytes. And a double, if you see a double, that is a 64-bit floating point value. Wait, what? Did you just do this? What the fuck? Wait. Okay. So, anyway, a long time ago, I had a really neat... I'm going to see if I can find it. Hold on one second. I had a really neat enumeration helper for CSharp. I don't, it's probably not near as cool as I think it is in my mind, but I have to make sure. I have to make sure. Um, huh. I wonder what I would use that for. I found it. It's just, I think that it allows you to get all of the names of an enumeration, but it doesn't look that valuable. Okay, well, that's fine. That is fine. Okay. Um, the next thing that I was going to talk about is that I missed today. So what we've basically done, we've cleared up this rocks object bug. We've added just an absolute shit ton of utility today. I mean, it was just basically let's see if we can add as much utility as possible. It's a good thing. We probably need to clean up a little bit more of junk that we've thrown into our main class regarding input processing, but we still need to do a little bit more input processing. I want to figure out like how to do. So this is just the on mouse callback, but we can use the actual position of the mouse, which is what we're gonna want to do to actually like rotate and move around our camera. Because if you notice that like my camera only moves in basically 3-dimensional but cardinal directions, so like up, down, left, right, forward, backwards, and not like you can't like aim my camera anywhere. I kind of would have to like scoot around on one plane before I could do that. So really, what we want to do is, and we're going to do this probably very soon, is as we move our mouse, we're going to want. I don't know if I want to get into mouse locking just yet, but you know how most games when you click inside the window and it locks your mouse in place, and then as you move, it rotates relative to the amount of movement. And so that's a typical way that you'd use like a first person game. And so eventually we will get there. I don't know that if right off the bat I want to do that. So what we'll probably do is I want it to be interesting. So maybe we'll just do. We can do relative movement. That's fine. We'll do it as we like move the mouse. We'll just measure how much and in what direction, and then we'll rotate that amount. And that'll be fine for like at least temporarily. The last thing that I wanted to do, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to actually do this, but at least quickly, because I do want to run some Dark Souls tonight. And it is already getting to be 11, so I have somewhere locked away. I'm going to find it. I don't know if you guys have heard of the texture pack for Minecraft called I think it's Spax. Hold on. Spax. Oh my God. SPH. BD Craft. Pure BD Craft. Spax. SPHAX. Okay. Wow. I can't wait to watch that section. Somebody just clip it for me, please. Spax. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Anyway, Pure DB Craft or whatever. I grabbed the sprite sheet. Dude, I know it's been a long day, but I grabbed that sprite sheet from that, and I think it's in my Dropbox, and I'm trying to open up Dropbox. Come on, where you at? Where you at? And actually, I don't know if we're gonna wanna immediately like. Man, Dropbox used to like let you serve up HTTP content. They don't let you do that anymore, do they? That's so sad. Can I like filter for like my pictures? Doesn't like the app let you like filter paper? Files. Maybe it's a ping? A ping maybe? Let it be a ping. Oh, falling apart. On stream, falling apart. Why do I have so many damn images in here? This is insane. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be running some Dark Souls, but yeah, man. If you want to go into it, you can. Oh my God. Is this real life? Terrain. Hey-o! Come here. Get in my damn file system. You little fucking... Sorry. So let's create... I need to also, I'm going to make a note of this, but I need to send the author of Pure DB Craft, I need to send him a request that I need to ask him for permission to use his textures in our project and to use it as part of our little video series thing that we're doing, because it's the right thing to do, and I don't think he'll care. But if he does, then we can figure out another way. We can make our own. I don't know. I'm gonna create a resources here, and I'm gonna paste terrain in here, and then I'm going to copy always to our output directory. I think you can embed them. Not credit no one. No, I know, man. I'm not kidding. I once had a project, like a log viewer or something that used a specific font, and I legitimately got a message from the guy who created the font and was like, "Can you please remove my font from your repository?" It was just like, bro, do you take yourself that? The thing is, like, I apologize all over myself because yes, I will. And I'm really sorry that that ended up there. But at the same time, like, part of me was going, really, dude? Really? Yeah. Is that what you're doing here, sir? Is that what you're doing? Let's do this too. Let's just go crazy here. Let's just add some damn Z rotation. You know what I mean? Like, let's live a little. Look at that. Let's live a little. Actually, what I was hoping to I'm seeing what I was hoping to see, but if you screw up rotation, then rotation actually will start pivoting and doing very odd things because it bases the rotation on other rotations versus if this nice little I stay at my locked into my origin and rotate correctly. Yeah, I mean, fonts are weird, man. The mystical. It's not mystical, man. It's legitimate. What you got to worry about is what people call the fourth axis, which is dun, dun, dun. I mean, people say that time is the fourth axis, but there's this very odd thing about that theory is that every physicist in the world knows this one thing, and I'm going to fuck it up. I can already guarantee it. Is that matter bends space, and space moves matter. And all of it is a weird function of time. And so there's this like weird thought that it's like they're all components of things, and then it's like time is just this variable. It doesn't seem like the other parts of dimension. I listen, hold on. I really and truly want you guys to watch this in your free time. And it's going to blow your mind, and it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. However, this guy explains this so well that you will at least kind of understand it, and it's just mind expanding. It's one of my favorite YouTube videos of all time. And let me...
Geometry joining any two, no dimension.
Yeah, there's two parts. Part one. Part two. Excuse me. The part two is only 5 minutes. I still don't, and part one is 7 almost. So like 12 minutes total, but totally worth your time. And this guy's voice is great. The thing is you start to like go, what? Yeah. You have to, in order to like start understanding how the dimensions expand, you kind of have to step back and understand like Flatlanders. So have you ever, you had to have at some point in the stream heard me reference Flatlanders. I always talk about it, but no one ever really knows what, I don't think, some people may. Like, I get the feeling Colt, if I said something about Flatlanders, he might pick up on it. But, but like, I say it all the time. My wife still has no idea what I'm talking about when I say it. She'll say something, and I'll be like, those fucking Flatlanders. And she will just look at me like it's something normal, like, that anybody would say. I don't drop it all the time, but I say it a good bit. So what I really want to see, can we load, this is what I want to do. Texture. I think we have something called a texture. Block texture. So, wherever we init all our stuff, let's create a new texture. String file name. Is it really going to be this easy? Is it really going to be this easy? Terrain.png. Wait. I don't want drawing. Wait, where is this class? Did I get the right texture class? Yes, I did. What is it mad about? Okay, we'll add system.drawing then, I guess. All right. That's even crazier. You will have to watch those YouTube videos and you'll know what a flatlander is. A flatlander is just someone who lives in two-dimensional space and they are completely unaware of the third dimension. And so if you or I were to ever pass through the second dimension, it would look like a cutoff, like a two-dimensional cutoff, like a cross section of us traveling through. So we would look like this big like blob that shows up. Flatlanders are, it's funny. I just call people flatlanders or I refer to things. I used to refer to it in the right context, which is they are very, their field of view, their perspective on things is very narrow. And so they can't see beyond their own perception of just reality. Flatlanders. And then I just started calling everyone that. Well, I don't even know what you mean, man. But yeah, I do. That's right. How big is this fucking image? Can I tell? Block texture dot width. Really? I gotta believe that there's better support for images in this OpenGL library, right? Gotta be. Anime girls. It's all a fucking cartoon. Matey. Size. Hey, size. That's what I wanted. Derp. Dang, this thing is not gonna, this is only gonna load a bitmap? Load bitmap? Really? Wait, is this serious? This is kind of bonkers right here. This guy wrote his own. How did he do that? That is pretty amazing. Well, you know, I really thought that SDL2 image. Can I use this? SDL2. What do I need? 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 What? Like, I would have thought that he could have used SDL image right there, but so I'm gonna have to look into this later because I just get the feeling that I'm not gonna be able to figure this out. But we can maybe try. Is this size? If this doesn't load or if it throws an error, which I'm nearly positive it will, then we'll just stop for the night. It says it can't find this. Hold on. Can it really not find it? I would have imagined that it moved it into the right place. Bin debug. Yeah, of course it didn't. Oh, it moved resources. Okay, let's try that then. Resources terrain. It actually loaded it. Beautiful. How many blocks are per thing here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 blocks. Dude, just come back. Just come back. So sick of your excuses, you fucking flatlander. Just quit doing homework and come on, you son of a bitch. Come on, do it. Let's add a uniform. Let's add a uniform. All right, man. I'll talk to you later, brother. And I think we just do sampler to, what is it? What is a GLSL? I hate forgetting this stuff. This stuff is like not the hard stuff. Where is it? Shader program. Shader. Shader 2D, sampler 2D. That's all it was. Okay, so I thought sampler 2D. And we'll just call this text. Sure. Yeah, no, that's how I am too, man. And maybe we can just set this sampler. Do shader, texture, set value, set it to block texture. What is it angry about? Cannot to bool. What? Wait, really? So am I to understand? I guess, oh, you set it to the ID, right? That's silly. think. Was given a float. How dare they? Oh, man. Okay. You know what? You know what? We're going to back out for the evening. This is actually, we made it, you know, a good distance. So I'm going to switch over to Dark Souls. I'm going to start running like a maniac. And I will be back in a bit.